Triple E EDC here, back again with another knife review. Today we have the Benchmade Crooked River. I've had this knife for a while now and feel that it's a good time to go ahead and review it. First of all, we're going to do some size comparisons. This is a large knife, as you will see. This is the Benchmade Adamas. Benchmade Contigo. So you see it's right up there with the very large, other large Benchmades. Here is the Ontario Rat 1. Try to line up those pivots. Spyderco Paramilitary 2. And so you can see it really dwarfs both of these. And here it is against the Super Freak and the Benchmade 940. So you can see it's quite a large knife. This is part of the Hunt series, which is meant for outdoor use. And it harkens back to a lot of the traditional design of some of the older knives out there, traditional style knives. When I think of outdoor knives, you can't help but think of things like Buck, the Buck 110. This sort of harkens back to that, but in a modern way. There's no lock back here, obviously. It's an axis lock. But it does have the bolster, wood handles, and this is a wood laminate. They call it diamond wood, but it is a wood laminate. The bolsters are aluminum, but they have nice accents with this orange pivot collar and the orange backspacer. There is another version of this that comes in G10 instead of the diamond wood, and that comes in more of a grayish black without these accents. The steel on this, S30V, great steel, often underappreciated. It still is a great steel, even in the age of M390, 20CV, 204P, M4. This is still a great steel. There's a reason that brands like Spyderco and Benchmade still use it for a lot of their EDC knives. Let's see the clip side. Now, what's good and what's bad about this knife? Well, let's start with the good. The good is the styling. The styling on this is fantastic. As I was saying before, it has a nice blend of the old with the new. The old wood style with the bolsters, but the new with the axis lock, new steels, one-handed opening. And new materials. I believe the backspacer is G10. And like I said, the other version also comes in G10. Now this does have full liners. They're milled out. I don't know if you can see in here. A lot of the weight is reduced by the fact that there are these large milling holes in the liners. It is a plus that it has this flow-through construction, sandwich construction, and the backspacer here does give you a little bit of jimping that you can get your hand around. There's jimping here, as in many Benchmades, but there is none on the spine of the blade. No jimping underneath either. Now, I really do love the fact that it has the axis lock. It's one of my favorite opening mechanisms. And so that, I think, takes care of most of the good. Oh, one other thing, I also do like the fact that this is a 4-inch knife, 4-inch blade. It's right in the sweet spot of where I like between 3.5 and 4 inches. Now, the bad. There is some bad. On my particular example, I don't know if you can see, but if you look on this side where the diamond wood meets the bolster, it's pretty much perfect in the fit, except for there's a little bit, I don't know if you can see that over there, where the bolster is up there, there's a little bit of curvature. But then on this side, you can see some separation right there. So the fit and finish isn't perfect on this. Another thing, I do not particularly love the black hardware on this. I'm not sure if other hardware would have been better, another color, but I don't love the black hardware on this. The clip, as long as we're talking about the hardware, now many people don't like this clip because they think it looks like something else, so I'll let your imagination take you there, but that's not why I don't like it. I just don't think it particularly fits this knife. That being said, no hot spots with it. As far as a suggestion of what they could have done, I'm not quite sure, but maybe something that matches this aluminum color. Now, there's one other thing you should be aware of. I don't know if it's a good or a bad thing, so I'm just going to put it as a neutral thing, but it is something to be aware of. Well, let me add one more bad thing. Right here. I don't like when knives do this, when they leave a space between the blade, the tang of the blade, and the bolster. Things get caught in there, gets caught in your pocket. There's really not a lot of reason that they need to do that. I understand why they did it here. They wanted to keep the shape, but it is a little disappointing. Now, as far as the neutral thing is going to be the handle length. And there's two issues with the handle length. One is just the length of the handle itself. I can show you the length of the handle again against the Adamas. And against the Contigo. And you can see it's larger than both. And just to give you a little perspective on just how big that is, look at the handle against the 940. Now, the other thing, and this may be more bad than neutral, is if you line up, you'll notice the axis lock is actually pretty far back. And so the handle ends up being a lot bigger than the blade. A knife that shares that problem is your old PM2. One of the big complaints that many people have about the PM2 is the handle size relative to the blade length. So if you look here, the blade does not start until here. To give you an idea where that is. In the knife, you're looking about right here. So that's pretty far back. Now with the axis lock, you'll notice that this is farther back behind the pivot than just about any other model I have. So to show you, you can see This is farther back than this. Farther back than this. Farther back than this. Farther back than this. The only one that it really matches up with is the Adamas. And even then, look at the difference in handle length. So you can get an idea of just how much handle there is. Now I say it's neutral, but there's a lot of handle that sticks out. And I don't have a small hand. I mean, I would call it a medium to large, mostly large hand. But you can see just how much knife is sticking out of my hand and where it's comfortable. About here is where it's comfortable. Okay, so I think that takes care of the good, the bad, and the neutral. I do want to say overall, though, this is a great knife. I love taking this knife out when I'm wearing earth tones. Yeah, I match my knives to my clothes sometimes. I'm sure you guys do too. But I love taking this thing out. It has a lot of EDC use. This blade shape is fantastic. The swedge here gives you a nice clip point Bowie style blade. I love that. I probably should have put that in the good. I'm doing this a little bit organically today. In any event, if you like the video, please go ahead and subscribe. Give us a like and comment on the video. Let me know if you have this or the mini Crooked River, and I probably should mention that there is a mini Crooked River as well. That's more of a normal sized knife. In fact, I've heard Nick Shabazz comment that the mini should really be the regular size. There should be a mini that's even smaller than that, and that this should be the mega. But you know, I like this size, and I'm happy I got this one. I wouldn't want the mini for what I like to do. And so I would say if you like big knives and you like the old traditional look with a modern twist on it, go ahead and get this one. You won't be disappointed. I know I haven't given it a ringing endorsement, but it's a knife that I really love a lot, and it is a knife that that I would recommend. So again, leave a comment. Let me know if you've tried this out, what you think of it, and have a great day. Bye.